This week's test drive delivers the cool factor, but not just with the horsepower on the hood, but the facade on the exterior, darkening things up and giving that kind of smoky, sporty atmosphere, albeit being able to haul anything you want in the snap of your fingers. Hey, welcome to Station Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now behind me is the 2021 Chevrolet Silverado RST with the Redline accents, obviously with the darkened Silverado insignia with that red line around it. Now lots of things are going on with this vehicle, not just the fact that it can get the job done. So I've seen the RST in other exterior colors, though I admit this black on black really sets the tone. Adding the Redline edition just takes it to the next level. Now the Redline is about a $3,200 additional package, and of course what you can see is that extra insignia, that Redline around it there at the wheels with that racing stripe, here on the mirrors as well, but certainly a lot of extra thrills thrown in on the inside. But this vehicle is much more than skin deep. It is a true powerhouse, specifically on the hood. Great power plant with that 6.2 liter, but obviously the 4x4 prowess. This vehicle is still a truck at heart. It isn't all about show, it's also about muscle, and this vehicle truly delivered. When it comes to any truck, and specifically Silverado, you can say it's all about the numbers, but not just the horsepower on the hood, but its roadworthiness, its presence, and the ability to get the job done. Because after all, it's not just about delivering people to the job site. It typically is all about being a family hauler. And with this being the crew cab, it definitely gets the job done. And certainly that bed there at the back end can do even more. Now where it starts is, well, the wheelbase. What you're looking at is around about 147 inches for the short box, add an extra 10 inches for the standard box. As for overall length, around about 231 inches, again an extra 10 inches for the standard box. As for width, around about 81 inches wide and about 75 inches tall. With the overall ground clearance expected here on this four-wheel drive Silverado, well, it's going to be an extra lift to climb inside, but to help with that are these very robust side step rails. That's certainly going to make life easier for the vertically challenged. What's also going to help, especially on a rainy day, is the smart key system, pretty much allowing you to keep this in your pocket and only interact with the vehicle, specifically with the access points on the front doors. Unfortunately, Silverado does not deliver that ease of convenience here in the back seat. That means backseat drivers will have to wait an extra moment, especially when the rain is coming down, for front seat occupants to let them inside. Now, looking at the overall design, one thing I like across the truck and SUV segments is basically everything tightening up. All the voluptuous curves we've all experienced over the last decades or more, that has gone away. You could say again, the liposuctioning up of the industry is of course right here front center, right over the haunches, everything's sawed off. You could say no chiseling, maybe just a little bit of it right through here. As for a midline, if you squint just hard enough, you can see it right through here. And as you sweep back, you can say it's almost kind of like a high-waisted design, flashback to my high school days, and really sweeps around. Again, not a curve to be found. One nice little niche I did find is here at the back bumper. Again, you can say it's all about convenience, and it's not equal across the truck industry. Here, Chevy delivering it quite well. Really allowing you to step here with ease, climb inside, either with the tailgate down or up. Again, a convenience that you just don't see equally among trucks. Now, one thing I really like with this RST, especially with this black exterior color, is it doesn't go up with the likes of the chrome warfare. Certainly what we see going on with the grille warfare, all the chrome, all the accents. This vehicle truly adorned in black facade all the way around. If you want to look hard enough and look for a hint of chrome, certainly you're going to see it there around the bow tie, but don't look too many other places. Everything really adorned in this darkened accent. Even right at the exhaust, you're seeing that wrapped in black versus the typical chrome tips we've seen on some of the competition. Now, what I like here at the back specifically is this rear tailgate. We saw this over at GMC, finally brought over to Chevy, the flex tailgate, allowing it to be kind of multifaceted in its approach. And where it starts is kind of in the 2-button release. First off, the top one, once you press it, it will tumble the upper portion. That certainly allows for longer items to kind of sweep out here versus being more at that angular approach. this a little bit more flatter. It also kind of gives you the business end of things, as you've seen in some of the commercials, looking like an office. Put your computer back here, maybe out in the elements. Obviously, we're all kind of trying to work remotely. This, they say, is kind of your new office space. Now, when you tumble it back up and press the second lower button, that's going to ease the whole traditional tailgate down and give you that, of course, extension we're looking for when we're carrying larger items, and naturally becomes a nice sitting area for the good old tailgates. Now, with the full tailgate down, there's still a lot of flexible opportunities still that awaits you and allows this rear tailgate to transform. First off, if you reach back down here, reach for that upper button, press it one time, that's going to tuck this upper portion away. That serves a couple of purposes. First off, allowing you to get closer to your items. As we know, if we're trying to reach items from here, just kind of a back bending, breaking affair. Instead, getting closer, like in our case, we're able to get those kind of yard items out, simply put them into place, less strain, wear and tear on the body. There's also another purpose. Certainly we want to get up inside should the items be further back. And again, we can kind of go to those outer steps, grab right here. But again, another nice feature is just simply press right here. That's going to tumble this lower stair. Now, it has a lot of grip ability, so it's never a slippery situation. Just simply step right up here, climb in with ease. But another nice safety feature is this extension bar that comes out into place, allowing you to easily grab it and keep your balance. If you need to put it back into place, just simply pull here and it tucks and locks back in. Now, there is just a little bit of weight to be expected with this rear tailgate assembly. It doesn't take a huge muscle, as you can tell, but just simply a little bit of give and push will put it back into place. Now, another nice feature, of course, with trucks is the safety that is built in. No longer is a scratch and fill, especially with this overall size. Any novice behind the wheel used to be white knuckled. Now they look like a pro. Where it begins is with the multiple cameras. Specifically here at the back, you're having a backup camera and a camera that's going to view right there at the tail hitch assembly, allowing you to really navigate with ease when you're coupling up to something. Certainly the backup camera is giving that kind of visual to make sure there's nothing in harm's way. Lastly is the parking sensors, not just here at the back, but also the front. That's giving that radar-like feel. This blackened facade may really stand out the most here at the Grill Warfare, where other vehicles give you that chrome that blings out so much it almost blinds you. This takes the opposite aggressive approach, and where it starts is really just this huge broad offering. Now, in other body color choices, one thing you will see is kind of the contrast, specifically with this center bar. I'm not the biggest fan of kind of this split grille design, but when you darken everything up like it is here, it kind of all has more of a fluid architecture. What has somewhat subdued here at the front is, you could say, the headlight assembly. Some of the competition has gone with a huge vertical stack. I like this a little bit better, mainly because it's so much more appropriate to oncoming drivers, basically not blinding them, instead being an equal opportunist when it comes to just lighting the road, not everyone else's eyeballs. You'll see it with this very modest offering here. The daytime running lights kind of take this bedazzled approach, and again, the only chrome to be found is right along the bow tie we see here. Now, just to remind you, this isn't just a pretty truck, it also has some workability behind it. Well, look at the mirrors. These help accent the lighting throws around this vehicle, pretty much acting like spotlights, allowing you to kind of direct them where they want. Imagine that coupled with, of course, the traditional headlights. That's really giving you a lot of kind of 24/7 kind of workability with this vehicle. Naturally, if you flip them back here to the side, you can almost light up the perimeter as well. Now, some other things to point out here at the front. Nice Redline edition, again, gives you these red adorned recovery hooks, allowing you to pull this vehicle out if it gets into a sticky situation. As for airflow, certainly it's going to be gobbled up with this huge grille offering, but as you sweep around, you'll see this operational side venting that tucks the air out along the side. Last but not least is the power under the hood, specifically a 6.2 liter V8 engine. That's going to live around about 420 horses and 460 foot-pounds of torque. It is coupled to a 10-speed automatic transmission. As for towing capabilities, certainly around about 9,000 pounds on up to just under 12,000, depending on how you totally equip it out. As for payload, give or take around about 2,000 pounds. Now, with my overall 6'2" lanky frame, one of the biggest complaint departments is legroom numbers. Not when it comes to the front. but for backseat drivers. But thankfully here on the crew cab, plenty of acreage to be found. Now for the front, what you're going to find around about 44 inches of legroom. Here in the back, just a shy less, about 43 inches. Plenty of room even for my tall, goofy frame. What I also like is the overall styling. Pretty much a straightforward bench, a little bit more cushiony on the outer side, a little bit stiffer here in the middle, but you can easily handle 3 adults with ease. Even better, of course, to be expected on a truck. Nice flat flooring, so plenty of feet space to be found. As for the seat back, somewhat of a straightforward design to be expected with the rear of the cabin being right here. Headrest, very tall, but what I like is the ability to kind of tuck them out of the way. Just simply press a button, they lay flat. That's going to allow for no blind spots there for the driver. With as big as trucks are, one thing I wish they would adapt to is a tri-zone system, because it is quite a bit of throw for the front air to eventually make it back here. Thankfully, there is some venting found behind the center console, but naturally you're not going to find any venting up in the roof line. So this is about the only airflow that quickly can get to the backseat drivers. I also like the fact they have this nice extension when it comes to cup holders, because that's going to be helpful when you do have a center occupant in the back. If you don't, this is going to be helpful with the flip down of this center armrest console, giving you again space for some beverages. Lastly is connectivity in the form of a USB, USB-C, and traditional car outlet. Front center, the good old MyLink system. I've always been a big fan of how General Motors has delivered this from day one. Very colorful and ease of use. Home screen button, just simply press there. This is going to navigate you to the various apps. Press it again, it does kind of give you that split screen, as well as the shortcuts for your entertainment. Other shortcuts down below. Again, GM has really perfected all of this. Really also what comes with this is simplifying the overall knobs. Symmetric knobs down here in the form of the volume select and tune select, and just simple back and forth buttons, and again, shortcut for the home screen. You will find tons of niches. This one right up on the center of the dash. You're not going to find the connectivity like you find on some other vehicles. I did find that this does get quite hot with it being right there front and center where the sun is, but it is a nice extra space to keep some items. Another nice niche that's really closer and better access for the driver is down below. Really just this nice open area. Again, keeping everything nice and easy. And of course, with the connectivity right above, you can simply keep your cords, and everything is nice and managed and simple. If you're like me, you constantly lose that apparatus that goes in this connector here, and sometimes you rather have a little bit more quicker charging, so bringing the household functionality of this outlet is very helpful. Now, some other things to be found up above is you will find the on and off for the parking sensors. It does have auto stop, auto start feature for the engine. In some cases, you may have some novices there at the back tailgate, may not know how to operate it, so just simply pressing that button will help, as well as doing the auto all down windows. Just simply press right there, all the windows go down with ease. And again, that's just a nice quick shortcut that I prefer. Although this vehicle doesn't have tri-zone system, it does have dual zones up front. Real nice, easy knobs for temperature select on the outer side. It does give you the temperature reading there in the middle. A somewhat small fan speed knob, though I do prefer that than the push button option. Other mode selects found around it. Now, while some of the other Chevy products we've test driven have moved into a bigger LCD display, I like modestly that they kept somewhat of the analog operation when it comes to tach and speedometer and all the various other gauges all the way across. Of course, down below you do have a multifunctional screen, allow you to scroll through numerous options, the best of which, of course, is the digital readout for speed, which is just an easier glance when you're going down the road to look at that, to know exactly the numerics you're going. Now, with all the extra ergonomics going on in this vehicle, you got to get to the work part of this, and that you could say is over here on the far left side with the towing capabilities, as well as the four-wheel drive options. Down below is the lighting modes, everything from the mirror lights to the cargo area. Between the front occupants, you will find dual cup holders. I did find that this held your phone nice and simply right in the middle. I also find this upper tray here, not for charging, but just simply hold your devices. Once you lift the center console, you will find a deep cavernous area with some extra connectivity in the form of the USB-C, USB, and auxiliary jack. You also find that it is nice and illuminated with an LED here on the right side, and it is fairly deep. You do have these extra little areas right here, which means they can hold filing folders that you can simply put into place. So if you do make this a work truck, it has that capability. Never on the right side, you will find this double stack glove compartment area. This one down below, kind of a traditional deep cavernous area. This one up here, not so much. This one flipping up and having somewhat of a shallow tray. Although it doesn't lock, you could put some items here that basically can just stow out away when you're not needing them. Now, sometimes when you're looking to sport things up, it doesn't always come in the shape and size that you expect. Not always 2 doors or something that just resembles a small Matchbox car. Instead, it is a full-size option like we have here, the 2021 Chevrolet Silverado RST, again with the Redline additions. And really the only option, in my opinion, is this darkened black exterior, giving this kind of aggressive facade on the outside. Now, this vehicle still is a workhorse at heart, really, with all the kind of exterior lighting, the safety features, again making the novice behind the wheel squeeze this vehicle into the tight spots with ease. This vehicle is certainly a workhorse, but can look nice and soft around the edges. Now, as always, like, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.